Hello guys, welcome to the session and I hope all of you guys are doing good. Am I audible to all of you and are you guys able to see my screen? Quickly confirm. Okay. All right, so let's get started with today's session. So today's session will be on Claude Code. So Claude is actually doing very interesting things out here for the software developers and those guys coming from non-coding background. So they can very well use it, this products which they have created. In this particular session, we are going to focus on the Claude Code, how to install that in our machines, and then how we can leverage that. We will be planning one more session maybe next month where we will talk about Claude co-work as well and how we can create entire agents and do some of the interesting stuffs, right? So let's start with the discussion now. So first of all, this is the official website, which I am pinging you guys on the chat window as well. So this is the official website from where you have to install Claude in your machines. So what we have to do is we have to come down and we have to go ahead and we have to see this particular outcome, right? So here are the links which we have. So if you are coming from Mac, Linux type of machines, then this is the link which we have to use. And if you are using Windows, then you can go ahead and you can use this type of links which we have. One for Windows PowerShell and one for Windows command prompt. So I am having Windows machine, so I will use this particular command. I'll copy that. I already have it in my machine, so we can very well go ahead and we can just check it out what needs to be done. So we'll go to the command prompt, and this is the page you will be getting in, and we'll paste this and press enter. I already have it, so as such, nothing will happen. So it will not do any installation because I already have in my machine. So I'll just close it. But what you have to do is you have to use this link and execute that in your machines. I'm closing this. Once that is done, then what needs to be done? So you can just go to the, yes, I'll talk about that subscription and all. So you can just type Claude. And in that case, you can see that it is going to come up with this screen, right? I trust this folder, I press enter only. And here you can see that we got the output. And this is the thing which you will be going to see once you are installing in your machine, right? Here you can say hi. And you can see that it is now responding well. The output is coming in. Okay. So to work on Claude in your machines, you should have the Pro access, right? So basically there are licenses which we have. So I'll go to the Claude website as well, Claude AI. So you should have, so there are various plans. And here you can see we have Pro and Max. So you should be having Pro in your machine minimum, right? Then only Claude will work. I'm having the Max plan because my usage is more, but you can go for the Pro one for using this. You must be having any subscription from ChatGPT or someone or some of the other companies, so you can maybe think of using this as well if you are coming from a coding background or looking to get into coding background. So this is, we are not going to spend much time on this particular screen because it's pretty much, we have to type it and it's a bit of looking very technical type of screen. So we are very much scared of it. We don't have to worry about that. It's just, I just wanted to show you that this is how we connected. Now I can very well close this screen because I don't need it anymore. We will integrate Claude Code with your what do you say, Visual Studio Code, right? And those guys who are trying as of now getting the errors, please don't ping it, right? I will not able to solve and uh, see the issue, right? So just focus on what we are doing. After that, you can maybe connect with the support team and you can let me know what issues you're facing here, right? So we'll go to the Visual Studio Code. And once you do that, at the top here, you can see that there is an option of extensions, right? So we have to connect with the extensions. So I click on this and here you can see one option coming in, that is Claude Code for VS Code, right? You can search it. If you are not getting it, you can just search it, Claude Code for VS Code. The first one is what you are going to get. So you have to install that. I already have it in my machine, so I don't have to do any installation, but you can click on that. It's a simple extension which you are going to install. Now, once that is done, we'll get into one folder. And we'll try to understand the power of this particular Claude Code which we have. So here you can see that we got this option. I'll just cross this chat and I click on this option called Claude Code. There are various options available. It's not only Claude Code. ChatGPT has Codex, right? Then your GitHub has Copilot. So all those options are also available for building us for any application if I want to build. But Claude is moreover a model which is more of a coding oriented, and the output which you are going to get is much better as compared to other tools which I have explored. That's why I'm pretty much liking this particular agent which can help me to build the entire system. So here you can see that you got this prompt and you got this screen because we installed that extension out there. And here we will have to give the entire prompt, and based on that, it will generate the entire code for me. What we are going to do, we'll create one small banking application first. We'll use Python and Streamlit as a front end. And you can see that everything will be done by the machine. And second, if time permits, we'll go ahead and we'll create one RAG application also, where we can use the OpenAI and create the entire chatbot, right? So these are the two applications we'll try to work on. Let's see how much time we will get to implement the second one, but let's start with the first one. Here you can see some of the options also available. Attach files. We want to give some of the documentation and ask machine to basically refer that document. All those options are available. Clear conversation and various options are there if you go down. So a lot of other options are also available. As it's a first session, so we are just discussing what benefit we are going to get. But there are a lot of things actually we can explore here. In 1 hour, I cannot go and explain everything. But the idea is that you can have your own backslash commands as well. We can create some custom commands as well. So various different things can be done. But for now, let's start with building one application. So let's say I want to build a banking. It is not open source because, as I mentioned, you have to purchase a pro plan. And once you are purchasing the pro plan, then only this will work, right? So I want to build a banking application where I want the database in the Excel format, in Excel, let's say. And I want to use object-oriented programming in Python for building this entire application. I want to create the front end as well using Streamlit. I want the professional application for the same, there should be multiple pages, that is login page, account summary page, deposit page, withdraw, and download statement in the PDF form. Give me all the pages in the professional way. Create the entire application, right? So I gave a bit of prompt and I can very well go ahead and I can ask machine to do that. Now, first of all, it will understand what is the requirement. And after that, we can go ahead and we can see what it is going to do. It will ask me for all the permissions, creating the code and everything, right? Cloud Code was leaked recently. You can find it on GitHub. Yeah, that is true, but still you need the pro access, right? If Cloud Code is there, but still you need the pro access. So here you can see allow access to banking app for this session. So basically I have created one application earlier, right? So it is asking me to access that also, right? So that it can refer the entire document. So let's go for it. So here you can see that it is using the entire folder structure. As of now, there will not be any, what do you say, files, but it will start creating it, right? So whatever files it will create, the code files and all, it will ask me for the permission. So here you can see that the database coming in. These are different products, right? Microsoft Copilot has again chat we have, right? In the Microsoft Visual Studio, there is a Copilot access also there. Then your ChatGPT Codex is there. Then your Claude Code is there. So all these are different applications which are having the same goal, right? At the end, they are going to create the entire applications for me using the agents and all. So there is no difference as such. It's just which model you want to use, and different interfaces may be there. But apart from that, all these models are using like Codex, Claude Code. These are used for creating the codes, creating the applications, or maybe doing some data analysis. So here you can see that it is creating all the files. So this will keep running in. You can, as I mentioned, you can use any application as per your company's requirement or based on your comfort level, right? But as I mentioned, Claude Code and Claude Cowork, these are some of the applications which are quite popularly used by the people out there. But it is taking too much time for creating simple application. This much time it will take. It's not too much time, right? How much time we have? Only 5 minutes, right? If we start building from our side, how much time will it take? So it's creating for the first time and creating multiple files. So this will take time. It's not that you will just pass a prompt and you will get the output. So it's creating multiple codes. So as of now, you can see all these codes are getting created. And I'm using the advanced version only. So it's not that because of the plan, it is slow. It is going to be this much time only. Claude Code is by default using the Sonnet model here, right? So there is an option here to change the model as well. By default, it is using the Sonnet. So when you are using your Claude AI website, in that case, what happens is that it will create the entire folder structures, everything in the, like it will give me the code. It will not going to implement in my desktop, right? Or in my machine. But here in the Claude Code, it is creating all the folders, everything in my machine only. So when we are going to the Claude AI website, it will give me the code. It will maybe give me the output in a zip format. I can go and I can download that and I can put it in my machine and execute it. Yeah, so Opus model is better than Sonnet, obviously, but Opus model is costlier as well, right? So whatever if when I'm creating a simple application, then I don't need Opus model. When I'm looking for a complex requirements, in that case, Opus is the best. So out of Sonnet and Opus, Opus is better as compared to Sonnet. Do we need any setting to do before using Claude before? Yeah, so we have to install this Claude Code extension here in your Visual Studio Code by clicking on the extension, this one, and you have to install the Claude Code in your machines as well. So this is the link which I have shared at the start of the class. So this link you have to use for Windows machine. You will be using this link. For Mac, you will be using this link. You have to run that in the terminal. Okay. So I think this is done. The application is done, I guess. So let's ask for launch, right? Let's launch this. I'm seeing some of the questions coming in. I may miss some of the questions. I'll take it at the end. Regarding every time the user will pass and gives the different output, that is gonna be possible, like that is gonna how the LLM works, right? The thing you can do is you can make the temperature equal to 0. In that case, it will be more deterministic rather than probabilistic. So here you can see we got this application. So this is the application coming in. There you can see there are some issues out here. It's not looking good, and we can ask for some of the changes in the front end, but we got this basic application. You can create a new account, right? You can log in with the account. So let's ask, what is the default account you have? Default is, I think this one, I guess. Okay, it's asking me to create the account itself. So let's do that. This account got created. So at the backend, what will happen is that here you will be having an Excel file. If you go to the data, so here if you go to the users, so here you can see that we got one entry out here. The way we have passed the details. And transaction as of now, I think there is no transaction. We just added 50,000 rupees. That is the only entry coming in. And accounts. Right. Now, once that is done, we'll go and log in with the account. So this is the first page, which is account summary. Some charts and all coming in. We can ask for a change as well, right? So if I want to do a deposit, it will go to the deposit page. I can pass some random amount. Deposit must be greater than 0. Okay, I have to pass it again. Right, and then if I go back to my account summary, so you can see that the balance got updated. Same if I want to withdraw. I want to withdraw more than my balance. So here you can see that it's saying that it cannot be more than 1,50,000. So you can pass, let's say 1 lakh, and it is withdrawing. Again, you can go and check it out. Account summary will be debit 1 lakh. Total balance is 50,000. Then I want to get the statement. So here you can see the last 30 days statement and all those things. Again, you can make it more cleaner as well. So download the PDF, download the CSV options coming in. And here you can see that we got the final statement, which is coming in, right? So this is the entire application which we have created, where I just gave a simple prompt and I can very well deploy this application in the cloud as well. Now let's do one more example where I'll be creating one, RAG system, right? So let's create one RAG system. And I'll put one of the PDF files there, which I want to use for RAG system. So RAG is basically nothing but from a PDF file, I want to go ahead and I want to access the information and I want to get the response from my chatbot, right? So I'll just get one environment file as well. This environment file will have my OpenAI API, which I'll be using for this particular example. So here you will see the OpenAI API, right? So I will be using this for my chatbot. So now here you can see that environment file is there and employee handbook is there. So I'll just ask that I want to create the RAG system using the employee handbook file. I want all the components in the separate file, like one file for splitting, one for embedding, one for document loader, one for splitting, embedding, one for vector store. I want to use ChromaDB, one which will connect all the components using LangChain. So LangChain is one of the frameworks which can help me to create all the AI applications. And maybe one front end file on Streamlit, which will execute the entire application, right? I don't want my backend code to impact with the front end code. Just plug the front end with backend, right? So here I have given the prompt. Environment file is basically nothing but it's a file where I will be storing my environment variables. So I'm using OpenAI API for creating this entire application. So now what I want is I want to store that OpenAI API somewhere in the file. So .env file is the file where I have saved my API key. Here you can see that, right? Here I can put all my the details which I don't want to share with my end users, right? For example, OpenAI API, my database connections, and all those things. Right? So that is like a secure file which we have, which will be called by, here you can see config. Here you can see, right, config.py. I am loading the environment file, and once I load my environment file, my OpenAI key will be coming in. Okay. So now you can see that it is creating all the application and asking me for the permission as well. Shall I create the file or not? So I'll keep accepting this. I'm wondering what's new happening here. I believe most of the people doing here the same thing since 2023, not just creating examples. Yeah, if you think that nothing new is happening, then you can very well leave the session. That's fine, right? It's for the people who are not aware of the same. There are many people who are not aware of. That's why we are discussing. If you are aware of, then I think it's a waste of your time. You can leave that. How many requests can we take? Claude Sonnet or Opus? How many credits will it consume if we use it for creating whole application? If you are using that $20 plan, you can very well use it without any restriction. It will keep working. What your free plan is giving you, it will give you around 5x times of the total hits. So I think it is done. App.py front end is also ready, right? Configuration files, document loader, which will load the document. Embedding will basically convert to numbers. Then you have the rack chain connecting all the modules, splitting and vector store. So now I can very well go and I can say launch the application. You can choose any of the files and you can make a code change as well. For example, you are asking that in this vector store, I want to change from ChromaDB to something else. So in that case, it will update your entire application, entire file. You have to mention that this file I need to change. .env file is basically nothing but your environment file, which has all the API key. Here it created .environment example. I think I have to change this, else it will fail. So maybe I can replace this file with that file. So I can very well delete this. Or maybe it will take this environment file. We'll check it out. So now app is running. Let's launch it. Let's see if it is working or not. If something goes wrong, we can ask very well that which part of the code is failing and how we can fix that. So as of now, it's still executing. The curl command was used only to install. Yes, only to install that. After that, you have to install the, what do you say, VS Code extension. And then after that, it is gonna work fine. So here you can see that we got the error langchain.textsplitter. So this is a wrong module which it is importing. So we can ask for a change. Kindly look into the document and fix this. I can use that also. So there is a question coming from Shekhar that we are using two things. One is Claude as well as OpenAI. So can we only use Claude AI also? API keys? That is fine. You can do that. You can connect this Claude Code with your API key as well. So if you want, you can use the Pro plan, or you can very well go ahead and you can use the API also. From API also, you can connect with the Claude Code. Is it secure to share the files with the Claude? See, it is going to hit the Claude server, but they are tied up with various laws. They cannot use our data for training purpose. But if you are still very much skeptical, in that case, you can use services like Azure AI, and all those concepts are there, where your data will be inside your Azure machine only. It will not get into the OpenAI servers or Claude servers. You just have to write .env, click here, write .env and pass the details. That's it. And the details will be the API key, which you have to get it from their website. Is the employee handbook PDF is required? Yes. So employee handbook is basically my document, which is what I'm going to use for reference, right? So if you go back and check it out, so this is the document which we have. Now I'm going to create a chatbot where I'll say that what are the office timings, what is the leave policy I have, what is the work from home policy. So it will refer this document and generate the response. So we are giving the context from this document. Now you can see that we are getting a different error, chroma. So that is also fine because it is referring the older modules, older path. So we have to just mention that fix this as well. Because the LangChain is again a package which is changing quite extensively as and when the new features are coming in. So there can be a chance that the path will be changed. LangChain.chroma or LangChain database. So basically the modules will have different paths after every new releases. As of now, I just pass a random prompt for demonstration purpose. But when we are going ahead and building the application, we write the proper prompt that this is what we want. These are the modules I want. So as much as context you are providing, lesser the error you will be getting at the time of development. Yes. If the new release comes in, you have to change your code as well. Because it is again evolving, right? So if your code is already there and now let's say LangChain came up with a new version, then you will have to change the path also. Because they are also experimenting, they are also creating new components. So that will keep change. Claude model we cannot run in a local machine directly. Like it's not an open source model, so you need a API key or you need a Claude Code type of thing which is connected through API. Let's see now what happens. So here you can see that the application is coming in. I still have doubt whether it will run or not because it is pointing to this environment file or that we will check it out. But at least it is loading. So here you can see that we got this employee handbook. The chatbot is ready. Let's ask some question. How many leaves can we take per year? Let's see it is working fine or not. It may fail. As per the document, how many leaves can we take? 18 paid leaves. 12 casual leaves, 6 privilege leaves. So here you can see that the output is coming in, giving me the entire source as well. So employee can entitle 18 paid leaves, right? Let's take some another question. What is the maybe probation period policy, right? What is the probation? So probation policy is what? 6 months is the probation period. Performance reviews will be conducted during this time. Upon successful completion, employee will be received a confirmation letter, right? So here you can see that exactly the same response coming in. So that is the power which we are getting with the help of Claude Code, right? So you can create the entire application end to end. And many of you guys may be aware of this, but the session is more for those guys who are coming for the first time and seeing this application. So for them, this session was conducted so that they will understand that what is the power of Claude Code and how it can help me to create the entire application without knowing any programming knowledge, right? Let's assume that I don't know Python. We don't know Python. If we click on this, I am not sure what is happening. But at the end, I got a nice application out here, which is actually doing the task which I was looking for, right? So that is the power which we are getting from the Claude Code. Same way, Claude coming up with a lot of other applications as well. So there is one more application coming in, which is Claude Code. So that I am planning in the next class where I'll talk about Claude Code, which is again one of the very interesting applications which we have. What is embedding text splitter vector store? Okay. Those guys who are not aware of the RAG, I'll quickly explain the RAG system. Just give me a second. Okay, just give me a second, guys. So basically the idea is what, without me giving, suppose I want to do, I'll open up my whiteboard. What are the limitations of LLM? The limitations are it is trained up till certain period of time, right? As of now, GPT 5.4 is trained up till August 2025, right? So if something goes wrong, something happened after 2025 August, your LLM will not able to answer, right? Because it does not have that context. Or maybe suppose I want to create one chatbot for my company's document. Now, how will I leverage that? So somehow I cannot ask OpenAI to train on my document, right? It's not possible. Plus, obviously, I don't want it because training takes a lot of time. That's why companies like OpenAI, Claude, they are training like after a good amount of time, 6 months, 1 year, like that, right? So every day I cannot do a training. And let's say my document changes every day. So every day I cannot ask OpenAI to train my model. So they came up with the concept of RAG, retrieval augmented generation. The idea is that I am connecting my document with the model. So basically, this is the entire typical architecture for RAG system. This is my document, right? Let's say this document contains 10 lakh tokens, right? Or let's say 40 lakh tokens. Because as of now, I think ChatGPT models, they are having token size of 10 lakhs, I guess, if I'm not wrong. So let's assume we have this 40 lakh token document. Now, if I pass this entire 40 lakh to the ChatGPT, it will start hallucinating because ChatGPT can remember only 10 lakh tokens and you are passing 40 lakh tokens, right? So that this is my 40 lakh tokens and ChatGPT will only remember this part, 10 lakh tokens. This 30 lakh tokens, ChatGPT will not understand. Now, if you are asking any question from this part, then ChatGPT will hallucinate, right? Models will hallucinate because it does not have this context. It only have this much context. So that's why when we are having a bigger document, we split those documents, right? So what is a splitter? Splitter is nothing but I'll take a bigger document and split into multiple chunks. Why we are doing it? So that if user asks any question, it will just take the smaller chunk, which is very much relevant, and gives the answer. So the main purpose of splitting is that making this 40 lakh document, 40 lakh token document to a smaller document, which can be consumed by the models, right? So normally we keep the size of 50 to 75%. That means each split will be of 7.5 lakhs because it can take 10 lakhs. So I'm going to create one split of 7.5 to 5 lakhs, right? 5 lakhs to 7.5 lakhs. So these are my splits. Now, once that is done, I'll convert that to numbers because machine does not understand text. So this is my embedding. So splitting, breaking the bigger document to multiple chunks. After that, embedding, converting the documents into numbers, right? Once that is done, I am storing in the vector store. Vector store is a database. It's a special database where it can store all the numbers. So this is my offline part. Up till the vector store is my offline part. Now user query coming in, right? User is asking some question. How many leaves can I take per year? Now this user query will be also getting converted to numbers. So this embedding is happening for the input also, which user is passing, and it will go and hit the vector store, which is gonna do similarity search, right? Cosine similarity is one of the popular similarity matrix which we are using. So it will look for whichever vectors are near to the input vector. Input vector was what? How many leaves can I take? So it will see the vector store and check which all vectors are talking about the leaves. It will pick those vectors and put it in the system prompt. Plus your user query is also getting inside the system prompt. So user query plus the pages talking about the leaves, both are combined. How many leaves I can take was the question from the user, and these are the pages which was fetched out from the vector store talking about the leaves. Both are combined and going to the LLM. Now LLM has the entire context. User question is also with the LLM and the page is also with the LLM, right? And both will be combined together and the response will be generated. So that is what we have done here in this application which we have built, right? So here, if you go back to the Claude Code, I mentioned that I want to create one document loader. It will load the PDF file. Then I want to split the document, right? Text splitter. Then I want to convert to the numbers embedding. Then I want to store in the vector store, right? After that, I want to create one app file which will combine all the flows together, right? And that is how the entire application got created. Now tomorrow, let's say my employee handbook will change. So I will just recreate my Chroma database. Here you can see my Chroma DB got created. So I will just rebuild my Chroma database with the new PDF. And that's it, right? So that is the power which we are getting without training my LLMs, right? And that's why it's considered to be very powerful stuff and people are using it quite extensively. LangChain is basically one of the framework which can helping me to create the all the AI applications, Gen AI applications, right? So LangChain is there, LangGraph is there, both are created by LangChain. Then we have AutoGen is there from Microsoft, right? When we have Creo AI is there. So like this, there are a lot of different frameworks are available, but LangChain is quite popular, right? So I'll explain the offline part again. So I have a document. I'm splitting the document because I don't want to give a bigger text document, which is not gonna take by the LLM because it will start hallucinating. So we are just splitting into multiple chunks, converting that to the numbers and storing those numbers into vector store. Now user will ask any question. Question will get into numbers as well. It will do a similarity search using the cosine similarity. Whichever pages are talking about the leaves will be coming in the system query. Plus user query is also going in. Both will be combined, passed to the LLM. LLM will have the question as well and the relevant pages also talking about the leaves and then get the output. That is the entire flow. Okay. Yeah, if there is a minor change, you can very well go and you can recreate. It will not take much time, right? You can recreate the entire Chroma DB again. That's fine. LangChain, you can say more of orchestration, not the brain, right? Brain is directly OpenAI model, which we are using. LangChain is helping me to connect the dots. For orchestration, we can use LangChain. Can we run small size LLM locally? Yes, you can do that. That's fine. Can we update the document the same way if user feels answer was not correct? You have to create a log files and then you can analyze that logs, and based on that you can modify your source or whatever you want to. So whenever we are creating any application, we have to just check it out. The We have to create a logs, and then from the logs we analyze and we come up with the insights, and then we modify the application. So when we are creating the application, we cannot go and trust that application. We have to create some logs, we have to create some checks, and once that is done, once we maybe monitor for some time, after that we can go ahead and we can fix those issues. All right, so that is what I wanted to cover, how to test these kind of AI chatbots. So there is an option of, so RAG is one of the option, and for RAG there is an option of Ragas. Ragas is basically helping me to assess these RAG systems, that whatever document is fetched out from the RAG system, is that correct fetch or not? The response coming in is a correct response or not, or is it hallucinating? So there are various parameters which we check, and there is a package called Ragas, which helps me to do this type of chatbots testing and finding whether the system is running fine or not. How many tokens are used and all, you can check it out here. So if you go back to your this thing, right? Here is my website. Just give me a second. So if I go to the Claude AI, so here if you go to the max plan and settings and the usage, right? So here you will see all the usage which we have: weekly limit, current session, spend. So all those details you are going to get it here. If you are using the pro plan or max plan, the entire information you will be finding here. Okay. So recording will be there in your SkillUpRight's YouTube channel, which was shared by the coordinator at the start of the session. And regarding the Raga's code and all, you can email to the support team. I will share those codes as well, right? Which we have implemented for the demonstration purpose. I hope you got something new from here. Those guys who are already aware of, that's fine. Those guys who are not aware of, they must have seen that how powerful this system is. One more interesting system we have, which is co-work, which is again, I am very much fascinated with that system. This is the Claude co-work, which I am going to plan and discuss this entire co-work concept in the next session, right? Very interesting, very powerful. And you will see this also soon in our this thing, right? Sessions. All right. So thanks for your time. Have a nice day and we'll connect next time. Take care, guys.